All right, welcome here on our SPS Innovation Stage. I'm very pleased to welcome you here to our next panel discussion. Our topic today is smarter decisions with data-driven thinking. And I'm not sure how many smart decisions you already took in the context of beer. To be honest, for me, it's rather limited, but it's different to these gentlemen, because with data-driven decisions, they ensure that grain used to produce those tasty beer we usually like to drink, especially here in Bavaria. So this grain needs to be perfectly dried and perfectly processed so that we have very tasty beer. And this is what you do. So yeah, we'll learn together how this works in detail right now. I'm very happy that you're here. Dan Schrock from Sync, powered by Sucap Manufacturing. Then Niels Auersloot and Markus Kick from Phoenix Contact. I'm very happy that you're here. Dan, we already heard that your business is about grain, is about agriculture. So could you please briefly introduce your company to us?
Sure, thanks. I'd love to do that. Well, I work for Sync, which is Sucap's technology company. And Sucap is the world's largest family-owned and operated grain handling, storage, etc. So if you take a look at this picture here, everything you see in this picture, except the trucks, is made by Sucap Manufacturing. We make grain bins and conveyors and catwalks and bucket elevators and towers and stairs and the building. It's all made by Sucap. And because of that, we have to be able to automate all of those things. So we kind of span across the industry from farmers to large bucket elevators, grain ethanol plants, and that gives us some different technology. We'll talk about these here coming forward, but just a family-owned company. And
cool. Sounds very interesting. So give us a bit more insight into your world. So now we know you're producing a lot in context of agriculture, but where do you actually use data? What kind of data are you using to make better decisions?
That's a great question. We're going to go back to grain where you were talking about beer. When you take grain out of the field, it comes out at whatever moisture it's at based on the time that it's been out there, what the weather's been like, whether it got rain, whether it didn't. It's very variable. But because grain is sold by weight, farmers have to dry it to get it to the right thing. Grain at different moistures might only store for 3 days. For example, pistachios can go bad in 3 days. So you have to get them to just right before they go bad. But if you dry them to the right amount and you know the data that you have and where you need to get them, you can store stuff for years. And so figuring out what data is needed and being able to use that is a very important and key part of our business. Because it's sold by weight, who doesn't want to sell water? So when you're trying to control the grain and keep the moisture content at the right amount, you only want to bring it down. So we use the data for where it's at, where it needs to be, how much drying time that's going to be. We watch it come down through the dryers, make smart decisions so the customer gets the most money out of their product at the end of the day without
real time,
in real time, without over drying. And because the nature of farms, at least for sure in America, are very rural and out, a lot of these sites have nobody who lives there. So it gives additional features. People might not think about it, but grain theft is a huge thing in the US. And so when you have smart controls on your unloads and your conveyors, if somebody comes and even just takes a screwdriver and shoves in a magnetic starter, you see current from the motor. You see an auxiliary contact gets pulled in, and the farmer could get notified that somebody is stealing his grain and do something about it. And if he's also not there, temperature cables in the bins give feedback, and that feedback can be used to know whether it's going to go out of condition and know to run the fans or not run the fans. Or for the case of like soybeans, sometimes they get pretty dry in the fall and they get too dry, and they can put them in a bin and then they can re-wet them by watching the humidity of the air, by just running a fan at the right times, put that moisture back in and sell water, which again we said already is an important thing.
It's automation with the people, right?
It's automation with the people.
Right.
That's right.
And we had a conversation right before we came here at the stage, and I liked something you said. You said, data has no value.
Yes, unless it makes decisions. Thank you. I forgot about that. Yeah. I mean, if you put it on a hard drive, the value of data is the price of the used hard drive. unless it makes a decision. And so without that, that's a really key point. I mean, everything that's being sold here is about either acquiring data or using it. And acquiring it just to acquire it, if you're not going to make any decisions, is a waste of time.
Yeah, absolutely. So what were your requirements for a solution to collect and analyze data?
Great question. Well, I'm going to talk about Phoenix for a second here, make you guys a little uncomfortable.
Thanks.
But yeah, I got this. Given that we are a family-owned company and Phoenix is a privately held company, that makes a difference because people do business with people. And when you have a privately held company, you're able to create a relationship and have collaboration that goes beyond just the sale of a part or a product. Because we were able to paint the picture for Phoenix, and then Phoenix was able to paint back and help. And we were able to kind of design a system that was going to allow us to support our customers long term. Because we desire to support our customers long term, like if you look at stuff that we sold way back when, which was circuit board controlled, we still support that today, and we have upgrade paths for that. And working with Phoenix allowed us to choose platforms that were modular enough to support old products as well as develop for new products. That leads us to the PLCnext. And so we're currently working with the PLCnext, and our desire to take that into the future is a key thing. It's a modular system that allows us to plug smart elements in, and we can see which smart elements are plugged in. So because the way we automate is slightly different than most of the world, each system is sold individually. And so if I sell a conveyor, it has a control package with a PLC and an HMI. If I sell a bucket elevator, it has a control package with a PLC and an HMI. A grain bin, I can keep repeating this, a grain bin has a control package with distributed I/O that's tied to the fans. And it allows each site to only pay for what they need, but yet the design and the program's written for everything. So there's no individual programming. They buy it, they put it in, they plug and play it, and that gives me that flexibility that is just unmatched in our industry.
Yeah, so it's really the modularity because of the uniqueness of your products you're handing out to your customers. So everything is unique, you just told me before, and this is why you need a very modular solution, right?
Correct.
Perfect. So Niels, that sounds like a very interesting and exciting task for you, right? So how did you implement it? What steps did you take?
So it was it's an amazing process. And when we first started working with Sukup, they were in a common predicament. They were, as Dan was saying, making their own control boards. And this is a very common challenge in a lot of industries, is the make versus buy discussion. But before we dive into that, I actually want to compliment and highlight Sukup just a little bit, because they're an immense company. They have grown as a family-owned company. They have grown to be so significant that on their charitable side, they've been able to sponsor and build a lot of buildings, large, many-story buildings at Iowa State University in the United States. Now, I happen to have gone to Iowa State and for my engineering degree, and I happen to have cousins who farm in Iowa, and they have Sukup grain bins. They're a very big deal. But that challenge that they faced, and I should say that I knew them and my cousins know them for the quality that they bring to market. So that's the challenge that they faced, was trying to find a platform or develop a platform that would meet the features and capabilities that they wanted while providing the quality that they demand of themselves and that their customers expect of them. And so we worked together with them, working together on an innovative platform like PLCnext. We kept taking steps and innovating that way. So PLCnext provides them that scalable platform they need for grain bin control as well as distributed fan control. And they have an incredible vision for the future, and we're very tied into our partnership with them. We've got a lot of Phoenix contact engineers working with them. And
You're saying partnership. That's a big deal. It's collaboration, right? Isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
We could talk about the collaboration forever. And as he mentioned, Sukup is known for their quality. We don't want to be the cheapest in the market. We want to be the best value for the money. Phoenix is the same way, so we align there. That allows us to have high quality products, both that are from us that we manufactured and that we're going to implement into our equipment. We don't want to put this out there and have our customers think that our product is junk because of something we didn't make. So partnering with a company that allows us to have a similar mentality in the development process is huge.
I mean, Dan, I don't want to sell you some stupid boxes, honestly.
That's right.
I mean, sorry. I mean, what
right.
we have to create for you was, and it's added value, right?
That's add value.
Right.
That's what's required.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not about the PLCnext, of course, it's good to have it, but it's the added value because you have your customers, farmers, right?
Yeah. That's right.
All right, and that leads us directly to the next question. Marcus and Dan, I'm asking you, both of you, in your view, what are the decisive advantages of this solution you have right now?
Well, it's, I guess you've been mentioning it, it's with the people, your way, your path, your decision. Because, I mean, I can dream about the world. I mean, it has to have an added value for you, as I was saying. And the added value is you have to be clear. And we have to have the collaboration because I think the ecosystem is great, but it learns by doing, it learns by fault, it learns by, hey, saying, I think that's a different way. And we say, yeah, that's okay. That means collaboration, that means open platform, and that means the possibility to connect to the future, to connect maybe to data-driven decisions for you, for your people, and again, for your customers, because that's the reason why we are here.
That's right. As you mentioned, it's an open platform. And so I like to say the only thing that is going to limit me is myself because of the PLCnext capabilities. And in fact, I'm not even using it in a lot of ways that most of your customers are, but because it's so open, I'm able to take it, bring it into my system, and do pretty much whatever I want with it, and get the ability to be ready for cybersecurity, which is important. And so you can take a look at this here. This has all the modules in it, but these are plug and play. And so if a farmer isn't using parts of those, they can take them, they can not order them in the panel and then add them later. And it's like, hey, you brought something in that wasn't there. You can see we have a power supply that's I/O linked back to the PLC. That power supply allows us to know what current's being drawn on what things, throw anomalies by looking at what we're drawing for currents because we know what we should expect, or if there's a problem, we can identify it. And since we don't have programmers or techs out on site, these are sold as an OEM, right? We don't own them anymore. We have to have the ability to update them in the field. We have to have the ability for a customer to go to our website, download a software update, put it on a USB in your HMI, hit the update button. It updates the PLC. The PLC's talking to the smart logics distributed. A grain bin can be really small. Our smallest one is, a semi-load. And our largest one is 2,200 semi-loads, so 2,200 semi-loads.
That dimensions, wow.
Dimensions, yeah.
That's
You could put a very large jet inside of it. It's a free span bin. It holds that much grain. That's a lot of beer, for the record. But
Bavaria is safe for the next years.
yeah, it's safe. We're constantly evolving that. But having a dynamic system, this modular, like we keep talking about, that's a fan control box. Our smallest grain bin, you have one fan on. Our largest grain bin, you have 16 to 20 some fans, but they're daisy chained in a way. So this same PLC works whether you have one fan and with the same code, or whether you have 20 fans, or roof exhausters or spreaders. And so it just allows us to distribute the controls.
That's exactly the same what I see as well globally. I mean, if we want to talk maybe in the future about machine learning or maybe AI, whatever that does mean, right? So, but it means that we have to have the ability to use and bring you the added value for one data point or for 10,000 data points.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, I was already wondering when the word scalability would come from your lips, because this is what you always say, right? Secure, safe, and scalable. So what do you mean by scalable, and why is it so important?
I mean, scalability, for me, please forgive me if I might be wrong, means not throwing more hardware or throwing, more service onto your whatever edge or cloud system. It means that you have, or that you are the master of your orchestration system, that you can orchestrate it, that you can make decisions in real time, with the right people at the right time in the right data format. Because at the end, again, we have to understand, sorry, let me change the position. I'm the farmer, right? So
Yep.
I'm the buyer persona. So it's not Niels or Alicia or whatever, right? That is what we have to learn. And if the platform does not scale with the people, you will never ever sell one crane automation, whatever, dryer, yada, 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 right?
That's right.
Right.
Right. So come back to us. I think our cameraman
Just,
gets,
I mean,
he
it's
gets a little
important
busy.
that, sorry, I know, Alicia, but it's important that we change sometimes the position where we are I mean, it's not like you buy, we sell, you sell, we buy. No, a relationship means
Correct.
more.
That relationship is the key of the scalability. You know, when Phoenix comes to me, it's not just, this is the products we offer, take them or leave them. It's, what do you need? And then let's see how we can get there together. Changes everything.
Perfect. So Niels, Markus, now not everyone here who's with us has a silo to park a jet in his company. So where else do you use these solutions to make data-driven decisions?
I mean, that's good. I mean, not everyone has a silo, which is good, maybe for your business, right?
Well, we could sell more.
Yeah, but that's exactly the thing. I mean, you can use it here in an agriculture environment or a grain management. You can use it as well to automate control technology for ovens, burners, furnaces. You can use it in pharmaceuticals to heat up, to predict curves, to maintain maybe a differential pressure transmitter, just as a device manufacturer, to add more scalability to a stupid thermocouple, whatever, type B, type S, because this is expensive. Niels, what else?
Well, yeah, before you leave ag tech, there's a large movement in the farm implement world. For example, on the edge, there's edge controls for laser weeding machines. And laser weeding allows people to reduce their herbicide use, and it also saves the farmer a lot of money. And of course, that's a double return on investment, better for the farmer as well as better for the environment. But machine learning and PLCnext type technologies can be, have been deployed. I'm working on projects from mining to bottling to data centers, and they can predict failures before they happen, so people can plan their shutdowns and service equipment. People are monetizing this with in implementations using for like machines as a service or software as a service. So there's so many different ways people are applying PLCnext, machine learning, and these kinds of technologies.
Sounds very good. So I'm looking at the time, but I think we still have time for one more question. So Dan, how does digitalization make itself felt in your day-to-day business? How does it make your work easier? How does it help you to make better decisions?
Well, digitization is how I'm employed, so we could start there. I've been full-time remote employee since 2017, and if it wasn't for the ability to take, my work anywhere, I live like, and I know depending on where you live, some of this stuff might be mind-blowing, but if I get in a car and drive to the headquarters, it's an 11-hour drive at high speeds, not at city rates, to get from my house, which is in the middle of the U.S., to another place in the middle of the U.S. And so, to be able to have teams with my teams, I have one of my guys sitting out here in the crowd, and he was in Bangkok, Thailand this week, working from there. And so we can have people all over, and we can have farmers all over, and we actually have remote solutions. So these sites that are out there where one of these breaks down and isn't working right, they can click some buttons on there and pop up and allow me to remotely access the system, and then I can help support them wherever they are. Maybe they're in New Zealand, or we're in close to 100 countries, I think. So, I can't drive to any of those sites. So digitalization gives us the ability to have that data, and as we discussed earlier, data has no value unless it makes decisions. So I can look at the product, I can look at the price, I can determine if it's going to be sellable. I can come back to Phoenix and say, this is where we want to get to. Right now it's not financially feasible. How do we make a product that adds value to our customers, as you had pointed out earlier, and get it done in the time that we need to, and that's where that partnership just comes back and forth, and maybe it's leveraging some of your development services that you guys have. You have great engineering departments available to us, and that just makes a big difference. So sometimes it's better to, if it's a short one-off thing, to pay Phoenix to do something that we don't have the manpower to do ourselves without hiring somebody. So,
and I think these are some great words. So let's skip to our last slide. What could be better final words than that? So I'm thanking you very much for watching our panel discussion here on site, but also remotely. And I skipped to the last slide. There is a QR code, so you're really invited to scan this QR code to get more information about our discussion here today, to get a recording of that. Online, you will get a link in the chat. So thank you very much to you for this very insightful discussion. Thank you very much for watching. And for everyone who's here at the fair, just go to Niels, go to Marcus, start your discussion how it would work for you individual, how we can use PLCnext technology in your application. And for everyone remotely, of course, also invited to just get into contact. Let's discuss how we can make use for you, how we can make data-driven decisions in your application. So thank you very much and have a very nice day.
Thank you.
Thanks.